Welcome back everybody, to Walking in Shadow with Jason. It's good to see you. I've got the artificial light on in the room. I've been playing with lighting, but that last video on self inventory. Thank you if you watched it. I know it was really bright. Um, it's just the artificial light gets on my nerves, but ultimately, I want to put forward a good product, something that people actually want to look at. So that's what I'm doing. You got to work on it. I'm always trying to get better at this. I've only been doing it a couple days, but I'm learning all the time. So just I know the words and the wisdom that I'm transmitting are what's important, but I personally just want to just have a clean product, which is going to take some time to learn all the things I need to learn. But hey, I got that, don't I? Or do we? Yeah. Anyway, today's video is impeccability. I know I've talked about it a good deal in my other videos. How about I'm excited about it? Well, the reason I'm excited about it is when I was at this point, um, my first steps on the warrior path, per se. My history is convoluted and different. I'm sure yours is too. So, you just trust what I'm saying. Is what I would just have to say about that. But when I was first starting out, the awareness is key. The self inventory. Okay, I got that. But impeccability is where there's more of a forward movement. There's actually something going on. It's not just the sitting back and observing and taking everything in. Again, totally important. And may not be exciting. Everything's got to be exciting, but impeccability makes everything a lot more worthwhile. So, in a dogmatic religious sense, uh, impeccability might be a common word to you. In religion, I know that in Christianity, it's being without sin or without, any flaw, Christ-like. Um, if that's the way you want to stick with it, if that's what works for you, okay, it's all right. The way I mean it, though, because I had mentioned before about how much I enjoyed the Carlos Castaneda series with Don Juan Matus, and that's where I really got the idea about impeccability, and I really, took it to task, so to speak. In that sense, it's akin to the Don Miguel Ruiz's Four Agreements, which I will cover in the future. Do a series on those as well. The Four Agreements, though, one of them is always do your best, and they take into the account the fact that your best isn't always the same, and it's going to change as times change and conditions change. That's fair. Nobody's really judging you. The only judge, the worst judge of all time, is the one that's in your head, the self-judge, the critic. Um, so, you know, what can anybody else say to you that it's not saying? So, uh, but it has less to say if you take every action as a sacred task, because it is. You have to understand that when you live this life, and I mean the magic life or the awakened life, the examined life, the warrior life, whatever it is, when you're actually present and affecting change in the world versus just, being a hermit and, hey, I got hermit down. I know hermit back and forth. But there's a lot of things that we do unconsciously, like driving, or when you write something out, your hand just does it. It's a practice motion. You just do it. You really think about it. Really think about the letters you're making. You're thinking about what you want to transmit to someone else via the media present, whether it's written or electronic, whatever. But impeccability speaks of treating every act as if it is a sacred act, and really putting your presence and energy into every single act. I know that's crazy. I know that in normal times that would be hard. Now, everything's cuckoo. I got it. It's okay. But no matter how crazy the world gets and the people get, all we're talking about as warriors is ourselves. Everything else will work itself out. It will. That I'm sure of. It will work itself out. The other people, everybody's got to make their own decisions. So, I'm not saying to be cold. I'm very empathic. I care a lot about people. But I don't let it consume me. You have to have sort of a dispassionate look at it. You can be passionate about what you're doing, but you can be dispassionate about how much energy you're going to give to whatever the situation is. When I was talking about my divination rituals or whatever, my intuition ritual I do every day with the cards and whatnot, there's one other thing I left out. When I picked it up to look at it today, I was like, oh, I didn't mention this, so I'll mention it now. This is a book I've had a long time. It's called 365 Tao, and it's 365 Taoist meditations. I'm not saying I'm a Taoist, but again, I used what works for me, so everything combined in a way that works for me. And that's what we're talking about here, But instead of just opening it up to the day or whatever, I do sort of like a chiromancy, which is when you getting intuition from random passages in books, so you can try that anytime. I'm sure you have plenty of books on plenty of topics. If you just go and grab one, open it to any random page, and look at something on it, you're going to find that it applies in a way, and not an obvious way, but a way that's obvious to you. And so that's what works for me. But I did want to read today's passage because it goes right along with it. Who knew? This one's called Presence. The actual stanza first and then the explanation. It says, lightning rod at the pinnacle attracts power by its mere presence. In the same way, we must work for substance and height. If we want communion with heavenly powers, we need only attain the proper spiritual height. Then heaven will come to meet us as surely as lightning is attracted to a lightning rod. The effort is only in the becoming, in the purification of our characters, in the reaching upward. Once the situation is correct, union is inevitable. Some people say, who cares about heaven? Some people say, why strain for refinement? Of course, no one is required to make an effort in life. We can all go the easy way, but then we are still lightning rods. Only the forces we attract are not the powers of heaven, but the powers of demons, misfortune, and predators. No, there's no true reason why anyone should want to purify for spiritual reasons. The fact is, no matter what kind of person you are, you will attract something to yourself. One of the major ways to control what comes to you is to refine your substance. And that's what we're talking about with impeccability. If you believe that, in that attraction principle, law of one, you have to realize that it is not only your beliefs or your goals or some kind of projection. I'm going to project this and then it'll come to me. That's all I'm going to think about. It's not enough. You have to live that way. The life that you live in your mind of how you want things to be but they're not, make sure that you're also including you in that projection, that you're thinking about how you're going to be when that occurs. That's what attracts it. When you bring yourself to a frequency of, I'm already there, I just gotta wait on everything to catch up to me, but I'm gonna be there, and I'm just gonna be there anyway, even if the world around me does not reflect it. It will, because by law I will affect change in myself, which then mirrors the outside. It's that easy. Do I have that now? I mean, okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm in a very blessed situation right now. It's got its ups and downs. It's okay. Everything does. I got myself to this place by following my intuition and living a life that is in line with me. That does cause reactions to other people. That's why I mentioned being dispassionate. I love the people. I love all the people in my life. I'll say it again, if you're watching. I love you. I love all of you. Okay? But in order for me to be effective now, to build the brand or the me or whatever, to build this into something that I want to do the rest of my life, which is what I've been wanting to do forever. I got some cojones to do it. You just have to stay with it. That is a warrior. That is a warrior. No matter what the people say, what they do, no matter, some thing you're waiting on doesn't come, and nothing comes at the right time, or does it? This gets out into the last video, the trust, and connecting with the source. But the call to being a warrior and stepping up, it is stepping up. And by stepping up, you become visible. So if you're comfortable being in the background and thinking a lot, or whatever it is, playing video games, or endless relationships, or sex, or alcohol, or whatever it is, whatever you do to avoid the knowledge that you know is in there, you know, you're just going to have to rein it in a little, or you're going to have to make some changes. It's just that simple. Impeccability never ends. Can always do better. And on some level, somewhere, somehow, you can do better. So just do it. You don't have to explain to anyone how you failed and how you're going to do better. We're not children anymore. We don't have to explain ourselves. But you look at you every day in the mirror, or in the rear view, or on the phone, or whatever. You're aware of your own presence. You're aware of your own self, with the self-inventory. You're aware of yourself. You wouldn't be on the path of change and of awakening if you didn't want to change. If you didn't want to change, you would have stayed asleep. It's not that hard. It's getting easier and easier for people to stay asleep. They're putting electronic devices in somebody's hands early. And that's all there is. Everything is the internet. I don't sound like a gloom and doom guy, but I hope you're all able to make a fire on your own, just in case. But sorry to digress. It's just a personal kind of just a irritation, I guess, that how many people are constantly complaining about everything when it's all their own doing. I mean, I complained all the time. People who know me know. All I did, even being a spiritual person, I fucking complain. But, you know, I mean, at some point, you're just gonna have to accept that I'm not trying to, like, it's a cold world and everything sucks. See you next time. You know, it's not like that. It's just, when I speak, I'm speaking to a lot of people out there. I know that people looked originally for my help with negative entities, and I'm still going to do that. Still going to do it. But it's very important for me to put out as a foundation what I'm about and what I'm looking for. I am looking for something. I want to find more warriors. I know you're out there. Now it's our time to shine, man. Why would you stand down now? And I'm not saying get behind my flag and we're going to X and Y. No, just get behind your own flag. Make a flag. Have a cause. Do something. Don't just follow an archaic structure that is no longer intact and only functions because everybody's just still doing whatever the last instruction was. You know, I'm saying you gotta take responsibility and accountability for yourself and move forward with that in mind. And impeccability helps you with that because if you, instead of, a lot of people work with the mind and think that's the only way to think and that's the only way to do anything is through the mind. Well, the mind is the greatest computer ever. And, you know, all the AI in the world, good luck. I mean, maybe 100 years from now or so, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but But that's what it is. It's a tool. It just analyzes everything. You know? So if you look at everything in your life through your mind, then it's going to all be things that could be better. How can we make them better? It needs to be fixed. Not everything needs to be fixed. Be raw. Be whoever you are. I am not going to be the one to tell you you have to be somebody you don't want to be. You're already doing that. I'm talking about being somebody you want to be, or that you are. That's not even want. Be what you are. Yeah, but my family won't like it, or my significant other won't like it, or people at work, or people, well, you know, then just keep suffering in silence. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to make the changes. You got to make them. This energetic shift and the chaos involved in it could last for years. You know, everybody's like, oh, it's 2020 memes. Well, 2020 was blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's 2021 now. We're good. You know, things are going to be different from now on. You know, at least if you're young, you don't have the memory of what real life and real dealings with people and entities and whatever is. Because, you know, if the ultra elite have it their way, you're just, you know, a couple generations, you'll just be born directly on the internet and you'll stay there. I know that's counterproductive to what I'm doing on YouTube, but I'm just saying, you know. I mean, this is the way it is, so this is the way I've got to do it. This is the only way I'm going to reach anybody. I used to really just go to people individually, but it takes so long, and you never know when anybody's home. You don't know if they're open to the message, you know. So, you know, I'm going this route, and I'll just, you know, whoever wants to watch it can watch it. But I gotta keep trying, you know. I'm gonna find my way, and I'm gonna be successful. I know that. I know it. How do you know that? I want to know that. Okay, well, get to work. And I don't mean your job, punching in and getting some scratch. I got to do it, you know. I'm certainly not at some point where I can just do this as my job per se. And I don't do readings. I mean, I can, I have, but that's not what I do, you know. So I can't sell readings to people. So I don't do that. So I'm trying to figure out other things I can do in order to make a living doing this. The amount of views and all of that that you have to get with YouTube, I mean, that's something to have, but it's not, you know, unless you're doing the 100,000 views a day, doing whatever's popular. If I just wanted to do whatever was popular and made a check, I would have just kept my good job and good insurance and not starved for a month, you know? But that didn't work. It's a bullshit life, and I can't live it anymore, so I gotta live this one. And I know that you're out there. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you are. I know you're out there, though. Thousands of you. You're just looking for something to tell you to get up. I'm telling you. Get up. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light. This is it. This is your life. Even with reincarnation, even with advanced spiritual techniques, this particular life, where I'm Jason Kimbrough and I'm 6'6", and whatever, I drive a car, blah blah blah, play Xbox, woo. That's going to be over with. In a cosmic sense, it's not even a mosquito fart. We're talking about 40 years tops. That's something. When you're even 20 and 30, you're like, everything's fine, everything's going on great, everything's great, just keep on, whatever, and you don't really think about it. Think about it then. Be in a lot better position. I shouldn't smoke. I probably shouldn't smoke on camera, but you know what? That's what I do. That's who I am, and if I'm going to be my real self and really talk to you, then I'm have a cigarette occasionally. Is that okay? Thank you. I understand the excitement, the drama, when the spiritual life beckons. It's very exciting, especially when you combine it with relationships, which are just dramatic and chaotic and exciting also. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a deep longing to wake people up. I mean, I'm just wired for it, so you just need to just up your game every way. Think about everything you do, anything you're doing today, whatever the task is, just try to do the best job you can do at it, whatever it is. I mean, anything. And it doesn't have to be some tried and true method. It's what works for you. Just try something out today, whatever it is. I don't know what. I mean, like with Don Juan, he was talking about, because they would go on these long walks, him and Carlos go on these long walks, and Carlos is tripping over stuff, and he's tired, and when Don Juan's just trucking on along, and at that time he had to be in his, good Lord, in his 70s or something. He just like it's nothing. And at some point, he's asking him about it. There's a lot of paraphrasing going on here, but read the book if you want to. But he's like, well, I'm impeccably walking. He actually had this thing he did where he pointed with his fingers at the ground when he walked, so that he was like directing his energy to each step. That's what I'm talking about, or anything today. Just something you do normally. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because as part of intuition training, you'll know what to do. It'll come to you. When it comes to you, though, do it. I mean, like, well, this is stupid. I'm going to wait for something more. No. Right then, do it. And then with that, whatever that task is, look at it. Think about how you do it every day and how you did it today. And if you just change to the better way, just that one little thing, I mean, it can be so small. It becomes a habit, and you're doing something better, and then everything else goes up. Even if it's in, tens of thousands of your potential. You did something. Don't just let days, sunrise, sunset, and you're the same person. You gotta work on yourself. You can judge me too and say, well, what are you doing? Okay, great. I'm doing this. Instead of dreaming about it. What would my videos be like? What kind of reception would I get? I mean, what would I talk about? Can I do this? Do I have the funds? Do I have the time to devote to it? Or I just do it. Because I'm telling you, I mean, I feel really good. I'm not concerned or afraid or anything. So, try it out. I'd love some comments, if you have done this kind of thing, or I'm not doing it for some algorithm. I'm doing it because I want comments, I'm used to dialogue, talking to others, reading them and trying to help them. So just talking to my own face every day, I mean, it's got its own therapeutic uses, I imagine, but, just some feedback. Love it. I love all feedback. Give me the bad stuff, please. I need it. I know I'm not an expert, but I'm doing it. Am I at the peak of the mountain? No. But I'm on the path to the peak of the mountain, as opposed to sitting in camp, watching people go up the mountain every day, coming back down, hearing stories about what the mountain's like, the beautiful views. Hey, people die up there too, it's true. It's all going to be stories, and it's all going to feed your inner fear until you get out of the tent and go up the path. We're going to do this. We're going to do it together. I'm going to keep making videos, I was excited that the first video got 100 views. That's amazing. That's beyond anything I expected. These videos now, are averaging about 20. Okay. That's 20 more people that are hearing what I have to say versus the nobody when I'm just ruminating about it. There's a lot of projected stuff. None of it's, excuse me, none of it's real. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. You just gotta really do it. Don't wait anymore. Life's too fragile to just let it ride another year. It's awful lot of just arrogance to believe you know better than God or anything else, that you've got another year to think about it. Got at the base camp, sitting there, oh, I didn't do anything. Well, there's an avalanche, kills everybody in the base camp. Everybody on the mountain was fine because they were above the avalanche. Guess you got on that path, huh? Have a great Monday.